So there we go, Fluminense with the 2-1 win. They are through to the semi-finals. Frank Leboeuf is joining us now to talk more about this, but we will have a Brazilian team, at least one, in the semi-finals, Stewart.
Yes, and I think they probably just about deserved it for the first 60, 70 minutes of the game. Al Hilal had a great sort of last 10, 15 minutes where they got lots of crosses into the box and caused lots of pressure. But a couple of good goals. They defended quite well. And, yeah, good performance from them.
I've always said, for what it's worth, not a lot, really, to be honest, for me coming in this competition. But I think it would be apt if one of the Brazilian, South American sides won it, because it just means more to them, means more to the supporters. Al Hilal, bunch of mercenaries, good players, really good players. This was their big moment, wasn't it? The Club World Cup, for them anyway, because nobody will care less, but they'll, mosey on back to Saudi Arabia, and nobody will bat an eyelid about the league, and they'll get paid well. It's just a shame that they're actually, when you look at the team, there's so many good players in that.
Milinkovic-Savic.
Milinkovic-Savic, who was brilliant in Italy for a long period. There's
Koulibaly, who was probably the best centre-half in Europe at one point.
He went to Chelsea, had a bad time. Kim goes to Bayern, he's a bad time. But, so it is a shame in a sense. Look, and Lodi, who was at Atletico Madrid, and the list goes on. And they put up a good fist in this competition, but these guys here, they've basically, at the end of the day, well, if we're being honest, they've just sold themselves out to go and play in Saudi Arabia. So this was, for them, the big sort of platform. And they didn't disgrace themselves, but they just came up short.
So in the game here, in that closing moments, Frank, I know that you disagree with what Kasey said with that moment with Koulibaly and the penalty decision.
So at a certain point where you start the run and you grab each other, you have to let go. And one does it, and the other one doesn't know. And I've been in that position. And I think there is a real foul, because when the ball comes, you have to be free. And the guy never let Koulibaly free at a certain point to hit the ball. So therefore, for me, yeah, that was a penalty.
There's no consistency in this, as we heard last year from the Premier League and others in Europe, that they were going to really clamp down on this kind of thing. And that was going to help try and eradicate most of the holding within the box from a set piece or a dangerous area. We saw, and I think the problem came with the consistency, we saw some calls given last year around Europe and others that were head scratchers that were not. And I think that is where the difficulty is when the holding takes place, is when is the right time. When is it the right time to let go?
What Frank's saying, you can hold on to each other until the ball's just about to be headed in or defended. But for me, Koulibaly started it by wrapping his arm round the defender's head. And once that takes place, the referee, I don't think, was ever going to give a penalty for that. Koulibaly has tried to force a penalty there by putting his arm round the defender's neck to start with, and then let go, as Frank said, at an important moment, but not a penalty for
But it just seems in the game in general, this has become more of a problem.
But what I don't understand is, why do defenders want to grab hold of attackers now that the VAR looks at everything going on? Years ago, you didn't grab hold of people, you held them on one side, and there was no VAR, so you weren't going to get penalties given against you. But now, when you can get penalties given against you, people start to grab forwards. It's madness.
No, because it's allowed. And that's to Craig's point. If they start actually looking at it, even through VAR as well, and going, hey, you can't bear hug somebody in the box, so okay, penalty, done.
You have a look over last season, how many penalties were given. There was a lot of penalties given.
So even with how you feel about that, Frank, you do think that Fluminense were deserving winners tonight?
I would say so, yeah. They were more consistent. There were some ups and downs, and we saw the team, clicking and suddenly disappearing. But overall, I have to say that I think Fluminense deserve to go through, and they show more qualities than Al Hilal. And on top of it, I'm pleased because seeing Thiago Silva, carrying and maybe playing against his former team, Chelsea, that can be something nice.
He's 40 now, isn't he?
I think also Bono made some nice saves for Al Hilal as well. So, I think when you look at the run of play and different things, and when your goalkeeper's asked to make some big saves, to give him the opportunity for that late flourish like you talked about.
And also, they were the more adventurous side in the first half.
Yeah.
Al Hilal played with a back three, but it was a back five when they didn't have the ball. You couldn't say the same about Fluminense. They were a back three and their two wing-backs were pushed on a little bit. So they were the side that wanted to control the game in that first half, first 50, 60 minutes.
Okay. The winner of this game, we know, will be taking on the winner of the game between Palmeiras and Chelsea, which will be played tonight at the time of recording. Enzo Maresca has said that we may see Joao Pedro in this game this evening.
Joao's situation is a bit strange or different because he was on holiday, and even if he was working, but it's not the same when you work for yourself compared when you work with the team. But we are very, very happy with Joao. In the last 2 days, he worked with us, and we see if we need it tomorrow or we have a chance to give him some minutes. We're gonna give him some minutes.
And is your old team going to progress and prevent an all-Brazilian semi-final tonight?
Hopefully, yes. I don't really understand the meaning of playing Joao Pedro. I know we go back to the question, is it the ending of a season or the beginning of the new one? I thought it was the ending, and therefore I don't want to see Joao Pedro, but whatever, it is what it is. It's going to be a very exciting game because it can go either way. Everybody can see that, and I agree with Craig. I think Brazilians deserve to win that competition because it means more to them than to any European team. I don't know if the Palmeiras will be pleased to play against Fluminense. I think it's going to be more exotic to play Chelsea than Palmeiras, a team that they know very well. But obviously, with my past, I have to say that I really hope that Chelsea are going to go through.
Okay,
I
one
love
word
the little
prediction.
smirk on Maresca's face when he talked about Joao Pedro being on holiday, but he's been working.
Yeah.
But not. It's not the same. Because we often, when we're on holiday,
You got to tick over.
up and down the beach.
I did see you on holiday. You were
10K.
running in the pool. You were doing all
But
sorts.
Craig, running to the bar doesn't count.
All right, one word predictions from both of you ahead of tonight. Palmeiras or Chelsea?
Good grief. Palmeiras.
Stuart?
I'm going to go with Chelsea.
All right.
I'm thinking
Kasey?
Chelsea as well.
You're thinking Chelsea as well. There you go. We'll find out. Won't be long until you will find out, and we will be talking more about that game on tomorrow's show. But that is the quarterfinal that is coming up tonight at 9 p.m. in Philadelphia. On Saturday, look at these two big heavyweight clashes. PSG taking on Bayern at 12 p.m. Eastern, and Real Madrid against Dortmund a little later in the day. All matches streaming live on DAZN.